Hi, today I'm on the outskirts of Stricken in Aberdeenshire, and the plan is to walk up a hill over there to take a look at a pretty unique memorial. And then once we've done that, I'm going to walk all the way at the top of the hill and hopefully camp in an abandoned hunting lodge. So I'll grab my stuff and we'll get going. This is the Mormond Hill White Horse, and it is a war memorial that's made of white quartz that's been dug into trenches set into the hill. The memorial was made by the tenants of the Stricken estate in 1820 and 1821. The story goes that while on campaign with the British Army in Holland during the French Revolutionary Wars, Captain Fraser, the son of the local laird, was involved in a battle near the town of Gills, south of Rotterdam. He was unfortunate to have his horse shot from beneath him, which left him vulnerable in the middle of the battlefield. His faithful sergeant, James Hutchin of Newpit, Sligo, which is just over there, dismounted and offered his white horse to his captain, telling him not to worry, as there were plenty of riderless horses running around on the battlefield, and it would only be a few minutes before he grabbed one. And having uttered these words, he was shot dead. There was no time to mourn his sergeant during the heat of battle, but the memory of the actions of that man stayed with Captain Fraser all his life. Now, on his way back home, Captain Fraser is said to have visited the Uffington White Horse in the south of England. And when he was there, he decided to create a white horse of his own on Mormond Hill that he thought would be a fitting tribute to his loyal sergeant. Now, in 1820 and 21, the horse was created, and since then it's been looked after by succeeding generations of Stricken folk who from time to time gather to inspect the horse and remove the weeds that have grown here. Now, during World War II, the white horse was covered with earth by locals because the government feared that this would be used as a navigation aid by the Luftwaffe. So for the period of the war, the horse disappeared, and as soon as it was over, Stricken folk came up here and painstakingly cleared the horse so it was visible again. Well, I hope you enjoyed that bit of history. What I'm now going to do is walk a bit further up the hill to an abandoned hunting lodge, which was also built by Captain Fraser, and it was built to give his gamekeeper somewhere to live, but it was also used for him to meet with like-minded friends who would eat and drink and discuss politics of the time. So it's now an abandoned shell, and the plan is to go up there and pitch my tent. But before I do, if you did enjoy that history bit, it'd be really useful if you gave me a thumbs up. Thanks for that. Okay, let's get my pack on and get up the hill. Okay, well that's me at the top, and wow, it's getting really humid. It's incredibly still. I've been up here many times, and I've never been up here where there's no wind. It is absolutely still, and we're definitely building for a thunderstorm. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a quick drink, and then I'm going to get my tent up just in case it starts to tip it down with rain. And then once I'm set up, I think I'll show you what I'm doing tonight, where I'm going to be camping. So I better get on with that before it rains. So this is where I'm planning on putting my tent. Now, I think I've got enough space. I'm not sure whether the pegs will go in, but we've got, you know, rocks, we can work around that. But I'm not the first person to spend the night in this place, and it looks like most of it has been sheep and rabbit and possibly deer, and they've left me quite a bit of poop. So I'm going to have to do a little bit of housekeeping first, and then I'll see if I can get my tent up. And what I'm going to do is I'll crack on with that, and I'll bring you back when I'm set up. Well, there we go. And tonight I'm using the Nature Hike Tiger 2 single skin tent, 1.5 kilos about, 1.4 I think it is. Pretty good lightweight tent. Now I wouldn't normally use it, both of the doors folded back, but it's going to be a really muggy night, and these things aren't great for ventilation at the best of times. So to stop condensation and to get a bit of a breeze through, I've tied them both back. Now, if the weather gets up in the night, if it starts to rain or it gets windy, I've got a couple of pegs out already, and I should just peg the doors out and it'll be fine. Not putting any guy lines out. It's not like me, but I'm going to take a chance. Pretty sure it's going to stay still most of the night. And again, if it gets really bad in the night, I can always jump out and peg it out. But for now, that's where I am. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and prepare for dinner. And tonight, we're back to noodles. I've got some weird noodles and I'm having some meatballs with them. Yeah, I know, it sounds a bit strange, but I think it might work. So I'll go and set up for that, and I'll bring you back when it's time to make me noodles. So tonight, I'm gonna have sort of spaghetti and meatballs, but a Korean mix-up of spaghetti and meatballs. It's probably a heinous thing to say, but I'll show you what I bought with me. I bought some noodles from Nongshim called chapaghetti. So what we're actually having is chapaghetti and meatballs. Yeah, it's a cheesy joke, I know. And I've no idea what these are, but I do know that they're the fatter type noodles that have to be cooked in the hot water for a few minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to boil up water in that. Then I'm going to whack them in there and bring it on for a few minutes until they've cooked a bit. And then I'm going to drain some of the water out. Then I'm going to put in some authentic Fray Bentos chicken meatballs in tomato sauce in there and heat them through, and then stick the flavouring sachets, if there is any. I don't know, I would have thought there is. So we'll do that. We'll boil the water, put it in there, heat it up. Well, I think dinner's ready. And it looks a bit odd, so I don't pick it up without burning myself. So I shall bring it in and hopefully not spill it everywhere. There we go. So we've got Nongshim chapaghetti noodles with chicken meatballs and tomato sauce. And I have no idea how this is going to taste, so we'll give it a go. Well then, fat old noodles. It's actually quite tasty. Not as spicy as I was expecting. Quite oniony tasting. Yeah, that'll work. Wow, for some reason I was expecting that to be really spicy, as in chili, and it's not. It actually tastes quite good. Yeah, that's going to do. And tonight, I'm actually drinking an alcoholic drink. I know that's not like me. Inchi cider. Yeah, not that strong, 4.5%. But yeah, it's a nice hot summer's day. And I'm going to have a can of cider, just the one, to wash this down. So I'm going to eat my dinner, drink my cider, and I'll be back in a bit. Well, that's a noodles done. And surprisingly good. Actually lacked spice. I could have done with a bit more chili. That got a bit of a chili hit, but hardly anything. Very mild, very kind of fragrant, oniony spice with, you know, vegetables through it, but big, fat, juicy noodles. And yeah, actually, the meatballs worked quite well. They added a source of protein and they added a bit of tomato to the sauce, because the sauce on its own was, well, very brown and yeah, not to my taste. Well, not, the colour was a bit weird. But I must have burnt lots of calories walking up that hill, because even though I ate all those noodles, I'm ready for pudding, because there's always room for pudding. And tonight we are obviously having rice pudding, and not just any pudding, deluxe rice pudding. So I'm gonna munch that down and I'm just gonna chill and watch the sun go down. It is still very still, and the thunderclouds seem to have gone out to sea, and we are getting a clear sky, so we might see some stars tonight. So I am just going to chill now. It's, what time is it? It's 6:30. So I've got plenty of time to just chill out here, watch the world go by, and maybe listen to my book for a bit, and I'll see you when it's bedtime. So I'll see you in a bit. Well, what a really chilled out night I've had. I've been sitting out here. It's beautiful. All the clouds are gone. It's a clear sky. I'll spin round and let you see. It's just before 11 o'clock. It's still really light. We're just starting to get a kind of twilight look, but yeah, just approaching 11 o'clock. And I've been sitting here and I've just finished my audio book. I've been listening, the last few camps, I've been listening to the Logan McRae books, which is written by Stuart McBride. And to sum them up, they're kind of like Rebus, but based in Aberdeen. And Logan McRae is the detective sergeant that is the kind of main lead. Much enjoyment I've had out of those, and I highly recommend them. If you like Rebus and Ian Rankin stuff, Stuart McBride stuff is really worth a read. So I've had a good night, so I'm going to get myself inside. I've had to wrap up a bit. It's not that it's got cold, it's that there's been a lot of flies. There's even been flying ants. There's been no midges, but there have been clegs and flying ants. And at one point I was getting eaten alive. So I've kind of plugged my neck up with a scarf, and I've had my collars up, but they've died down now, so it's not so bad. But I think it's time to get into my tent and get my head down. So I'll see you in the tent. Well, that's me in the tent. I'm using the Flexstyle R09 pad again and the one season quilt, because it's only going to drop down to about 12 degrees tonight, so I'm going to be toasty warm with a one season quilt. In fact, I'm not even going to zip the door up, as I said. So there we go, that's the mesh door, and actually I can see the actual door to this abandoned building that I'm sleeping in, so I can actually see if anybody comes in, but I doubt that I'm going to get any visitors other than maybe sheep in the night. I have a feeling I may have to get up and shoot them out in the night, because they're already starting to close in. I can see them out there now, so I reckon I might have some visitors in the night, but as long as they're only sheep, I'm not bothered. So I am going to get my head down and I'll see you in the morning. So see you in the morning. Well, good morning. It's 5:30 and I'm up and at 'em. So I'm going to get myself a coffee and some breakfast. I'm going to strike camp and I'm going to yomp back to the van. And I think the best thing is I'll see you back at base for a wash up for the highs and lows of the camp. So I'll see you back at base. Well, that's me back home, and all in all, a really chilled out camp. The weather was fantastic. I cannot believe I didn't get rained on. I made it all the way there and all the way back without any rain, and it only started raining just after I got home, so pretty impressive. I avoided the thunderstorms. And the tent, which always gets condensation, with both doors open, not a drop of condensation, worked very well. And I think in future I'm probably going to use the Tiger 2 with one of the doors rolled back, and I think I'll just take that chance of getting caught out with any rain. It's quick enough to just zip the door up if it starts raining. So yeah, I think the solution for the condensation is to sleep with one of the doors open. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, it'd be great if you gave me a thumbs up and left a comment. And if you're not already subscribed, which I think about 90% of my viewers aren't subscribed, it would really help the channel if you click the subscribe button. That all being said, until the next one, I'll say ta-ra. Ta-da!